So this is a way to be able to measure what we call revenue resources required. And I would hope, if you want to take a note, go back and figure out how many dollars you actually invest in the revenue process. That's people time, that's contracts, that's software, whatever it is that's in the revenue process, and we'll show you exactly what the revenue process is later. But figure out how much you're investing as a percentage of your top line. And then as you remove the chaos, what you'll see is that revenue resource required number as a percentage of the top line keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. We often think your investments in revenue are fixed. They shouldn't be. They should be variables. And they should be variable based on how much top line you want, and you should get more and more and more efficient in doing your revenue work so that the percentage compared to your top line keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So just go back and ask yourself that question and sit down with your CFO or your controller and get those numbers and then start to watch them over time, because it gives you a really good way to figure out, are you getting good at this, or are we just continuing to do it the same as last year?
But in today's world, don't you find that technology costs can skew that relationship? Because today we're spending, in many cases, more dollars on technology that are creating more of the chaos number, making the chaos number higher, because we're hoping that they're going to be able to execute for the future.
You are asking the exact right question. And if the answer is as your assumption is, don't invest in that technology. I mean, it's that simple. I've sold the technology. I used to, two of my accounts, you'll probably, well, two of them you'll know the names of, Sun Microsystems, which was a $14 billion computer company, and Siemens, which we've all heard of. Both of them, back in the 90s, came to us and they said, we're going to go buy this customer relationship management technology, and it's going to cost them $10 million, to your point. And I looked at it and said, it's never going to work. Can't work. I mean, it's fighting the science. The science says it's like inertia. Inertia exists, and if you don't pay attention to it, you're going to be clobbered by it, okay? This was the same thing. They were fighting science. They came back and said, it can't possibly work. They went ahead and spent one of them $25 million and the other one $15 million. And then they said, you know what, it doesn't work. So we got to ask those questions early. And if it's not going to work and the vendor can't show us exactly how it's going to work, I don't mean that when you push the button, the screen will change. I mean how it's going to improve your business ability to make more profitable revenue.
But don't you have to spend dollars, even if you're increasing your chaos initially, so that because there is a future down the line that's going to reduce that chaos?
I spent my whole career in technology. And so I would tell you that the technology changes so darn fast. If you're not going to get a return on it in the next 18 months, probably not a good idea. And a lot of it, you ought to get a return on it faster.
But if one of your competitors is going to do it, then where do you sit?
Well, let me ask you this question. I'm going to come back to you in just a second. Imagine you removed 10 of your 20 points of chaos. How would that stack you up with your competitor? You could put them out of business with just 10 points. So if they're spending money and adding to their own chaos, that's your advantage.